All right. Hi, everyone. We are getting ready to start our first lesson here today on Algebra 2 over factoring. One thing that you need to be comfortable using is you need a computer to go to www.desmos.com. I'm going to go ahead and transfer over to that site right now. If you need to pause the video before we continue, go ahead and do that. So it should look like this. You do not need to log in or sign up. We're just going to be using this calculator for today. Okay. For each of the following, use the Desmos graphing calculator to sketch a graph of the function and label the x-intercepts. Just a reminder, the x-intercepts are where a graph crosses the x-axis. B, state the x-intercepts as integers or fractions, and then no decimals, and then factor the polynomial. FOIL represents first, outside, inside, and then last. Okay, for this first example, what you're going to do is you're going to plug this into your Desmos. I always like to start with y equals, just so I know that it's a y function. So you'll go into your calculator and type in y equals x squared minus, if it will let me, there we go, minus 6x, what was it? Nope, minus x minus 6. Okay, the nice thing about Desmos is we are looking for the x-intercepts. So where this parabola is crossing the x-axis. If you just touch where it's crossing the x-axis, it's going to actually give you the points. So now I know it crosses at the point -2 and 3. So we're going to go back to our paper. Solutions are at -2 and 3. We're just going to draw a rough sketch to demonstrate that parabola. Okay, the factored form of that equation is if you take your solutions and you flip-flop their signs. So now we have x plus 2 and x minus 3. That is the factored form of this equation up here. Now to check if we are right, we FOIL. When it says multiply, it means to FOIL. So first would be the first two terms, which is x times x. That's going to give us x squared. Outside is x times -3, which will be -3x. Inside, which are our inside terms, that's going to be a positive 2x. And then last, 2 times -3 gives us -6. If you did it correctly, majority of the time you will be able to combine the middle two terms. That gives us x squared minus x minus 6. And if you notice, that's how you check it. So it should always represent what you started with. That means I did it right. Okay, so that's the first one. That's what you are doing throughout this entire lesson. Let's go ahead and head over to number 2. I'm going to take my x squared plus 5x plus 6 and plug that into the calculator. So just x out what you made, and let's make a new one. X squared plus 5x. Oh, let's go back. I don't want that. Plus 5x. And then what was it? Plus 6. And there's our parabola. Again, we're looking to see where it crosses the x-axis. So we just tap it, it crosses at -3 and -2. So it's a pretty skinny parabola if you zoom out. That means we're going to head back to our paper, and we just found that our solutions are at -3 and -2. So in set notation, we're going to go ahead and graph those things. That's a really skinny parabola. And again, just a rough sketch. Make sure that you're using intervals, which are your little dashes to display where it's correctly crossing the x-axis. Factored solutions. So remember, we just flip the signs of our answers. So that's going to be x plus 3 and x plus 2. To check if my factored is correct, I am going to FOIL that. Let's change color. First is x times x, which is x squared. Outside is x times 2, which is 2x. Inside is 3 times x, which is 3x. Last is 3 times 2, which is 6. And again, we can combine our middle terms, which gives us x squared plus 5x plus 6. And you always check to see if it matches. It does, so I know I did it correct. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more. Let's go ahead and look at example 3, which is x squared minus 4x. We're going to take that and plug that into our Desmos calculator. Y equals, well, let's just see if we can get that. There we go. X squared minus 4x. Correct? Let's double check it. Yep, x squared minus 4x. I see it's a parabola. So I'm going to look where it crosses the x-axis. It does at 0 and at positive 4. I know those two are my answers. So we'll go to this page, and in set notation, it crossed at 0 and positive 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and at positive 4, and make a rough sketch. Okay, factored form, what we're going to do is we flip the sign. If you ever have a 0, we have x plus nothing, so we just have x. And then we flip the sign of the 4, so x minus 4. And then to check our answers, we multiply. This one you do not have to FOIL because there are not two binomials. We just have an x on the outside that we need to distribute through. So x times x gives you x squared, and x times -4 gives you -4x. And then you look at your answer and you say, does it check out with the original? It does, so you know you did it correct. Okay. I'm going to skip example 4, but I am going to do example 5 and 6. All right, looking at x squared minus 8x plus 16, let's go ahead and plug that into our answer, or our graph here. So y equals x squared plus 8x plus 16, right? Let's go double check that. Oh, it's minus 8x. I need to fix that. Minus. All right, no matter how far I zoom in, it only crosses at one place, and that is at 4, 0. So it's actually touching the x-axis and then going right back up. So there's something I want to talk about. Whatever the largest exponent, that's how many solutions there are. So if you look at this one, our largest exponent is 2. And it has been 2, and we have been given, or we have found, that everything with 2 has 2 answers. However, with this one, since it only touches at positive 4, technically that means that that 4 repeats itself twice. So it's going to touch the x-axis and then go right back up. I'm okay if you just write in set notation just 4, but I need you to understand that the other answer is also 4, okay, in near future. Now, when I go to write that, I'm going to flip-flop my answers, so x minus 4 and x minus 4. And then we are going to FOIL it to check our solution. So first is x times x, which is x squared. Then you have outside, negative 4x. Then you have inside, negative 4x. And then last, which is positive 16. From there, you're going to combine your middle two terms, which gives you x squared minus 8x plus 16. And you will see that it does check out. So you were correct. Okay, we have one left here. This one is a cubic function. Cubic functions look different because they have 3 answers. Let's plug that one in the graphing calculator, x cubed minus 2x squared minus 15x. So y equals x cubed. I always do the arrow up and then I back and put a 3 there. Oh goodness, I already forgot what it was. Minus 2x squared minus 15x. Minus 2x squared minus 15x. I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see this one. Let's change the color so it looks just a little bit more easy. Well, maybe. Is it going to let me? There we go. All right, this cubic function crosses the x-axis at 3 spots, negative 3, 0, and 5. So I do have 3 answers because it's an x cubed function. I'm going to go back into my solutions here and say it crosses at negative 3, 0, and 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It crosses at negative 3, 0, and positive 5. And if you go back and look at your graph, it's going to start at the bottom, move its way up, loop through 0, and head up through 5. On cubic functions, I don't want you to multiply, but I do want you to show me the factorization form. So we're going to go ahead and flip our solutions. X plus 3, that's a 0, so we just have x, and then x minus 5. And that is your first day of notes. If you have any questions, please feel free to pause this video and or come see me before or after school or during pride time. See you guys.